So hello everybody. In this video we'll be starting with the non-catecholamines, and first we'll be discussing the alpha 1 agonists. Okay, so the first alpha 1 agonist that we need to discuss is phenylephrine. Now, if you are doing well in your Viva exam, this is one of the favorite questions. What are the uses of phenylephrine? So, it can be used in the treatment of anesthetic agent induced hypotension, it can be also used for the treatment of nasal congestion. Nasal congestion. So it is actually a orally administered nasal decongestant. This is important because two questions regarding nasal decongestants may be asked. One is the topically acting nasal decongestants, which are also alpha 1 agonists, and the orally administered. So one of the orally administered nasal decongestants is phenylephrine, and it is all, since it is a alpha 1 agonist, it can also be used as a mydriatic. So these are the important uses of phenylephrine. Not much details are required, just the uses and this treatment of nasal congestion. Next we move on to midodrine. Now again, for midodrine, we just need to remember the uses. One of the important uses is that it's the vasopressor of choice. In orthostatic hypotension. But the drug of choice is fludrocortisone. Now, what is fludrocortisone? We'll be dealing with it in the endocrine portion. Okay. Also, similar to midodrine, the next drug is meterminol. Sorry for the So meterminol is again used for the treatment of hypotension associated with spinal anesthesia. This is important. We already discussed about the anesthesia treatment of anesthetic agent induced hypotension, phenylephrine, but in case of spinal anesthesia we prefer meterminol. And then there is mephenteramine. Now mephenteramine it is used in the treatment of hypotension associated with cardiac arrhythmias. In cardiac arrhythmias, we give lots of drugs. We will be covering that in the CVS portion. But in case of hypotension, we give, which is associated with cardiac arrhythmias, we give mephenteramine. It can also stimulate the heart. So one thing we need to remember is that mephenteramine stimulates the heart due to norepinephrine release, and its mechanism of action is similar to ephedrine. Now this ephedrine, we'll be covering it in a later portion. Another alpha-1 agonist we need to discuss is methoxamine. I'm sure you've heard of this drug if you've been regularly attending your wards. And methoxamine is commonly used in the treatment of shock and is given by systemic routes. Though we have lots of other drugs which are preferred, but methoxamine can also be used. And two drugs which have to be discussed in this portion are oxymetazoline and tetrahydrozoline. Oxymetazoline and tetrahydrozoline, I'm sure if you have ever used nasal decongestants, you would have heard these terms before. These are topically acting nasal decongestants. And now, can you tell me a side effect of this topically acting nasal decongestants? Okay, so I'm not going to tell you the side effect, but I'm going to give you a hint. The hint is that since it is an alpha-1 agonist, it causes ischemia. And now you have to get back to me with the answer. Okay, so this is your homework. So these are the important alpha-1 agonists. I want you to tell me about this side effect. What could be the possible side effect of this ischemia? And I'll give you another hint, and that is ischemia. This ischemia will not lead to nasal perforation as such. Okay, so I've given you the second hint as well. So now you have to tell me the answer. You can tell me in the comment section below, or you can also, those who have my number, they can WhatsApp me. Tell me the answer. Okay. Of course, if you don't get the answer, I'll tell it in the next video. But yeah, try and find out the answer for yourself. So that's with the important alpha-1 agonists. In the next video, we'll be discussing the alpha-2 agonists.